So last night at 11 p.m, the transfer window slammed shut, and yet again, Newcastle United fans are left extremely deflated. It's probably the worst I've seen it for quite some time now. The players that went out, we haven't replaced. We've brought in one player yesterday who is going straight into the under-23s and probably out on loan eventually. There's just no hope at this club anymore. This is the Toon Review. Hi guys, I'm Paul, back again with another video, and just to recap yesterday really, and the whole transfer window in general for Newcastle United, which can only be described as disgraceful. We expected hopefully a couple maybe of loan signings yesterday. I say expected, there was hope that we'd bring somebody in. But as the day went on, it was clear that Newcastle United weren't going to make any substantial signing at all. Us fans, we wanted somebody to come in as a centre-back with a bit of pace, maybe another midfielder, and certainly somebody to back Callum Wilson up. But it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And the disregard that Mike Ashley has shown for this club now is nothing short of disgraceful. And us fans now have to get together. We have to get together and do something about this. It's no use bitching with each other on Twitter or other social media platforms. We as a fan base have got to come together now and work out what we can do to get this poison out of our football club. Because the deterioration on the pitch, the stadium, the training ground, everything just smacks of absolute disregard. Complete disregard. This Santiago Munoz signing yesterday, it's a PR stunt. It's an absolute PR stunt, just so they can cover the backs, and maybe the thought that the Newcastle United fans would concentrate on that more than what was really needed. And what was really needed was improvement to our first 11. Now, I'm not saying our starting 11 is a bad starting 11 when we're at full strength. We know it's not, but we don't play the right tactics. So if we're not going to play the right tactics, then we're not going to get anywhere. And we know Steve Bruce isn't going to change this 5 at the back formation. He's set with it. For some reason, he sees positives in this, and he's seen positives from the start of the season. But that isn't going to happen. We are going to be in a relegation battle all season. There is absolutely no doubt about that. We've seen how we've started. There's no positives at all, despite what this absolute bell end of a manager says. There is no positives in this football team. Now, yesterday, there was rumours again about Chowdhury coming in from Leicester. That pretty much went on all day. It was off, it was on, it was off, it was on. I don't think it was ever on, to be honest. I got told on Monday that there was no chance. He didn't want to come. But then reports yesterday saying, he was eager to sign and all of this. And eventually it boiled down to wages. Leicester City apparently made compromises on that. But Newcastle United still weren't happy with it, and the deal didn't go ahead anyway. But this all boils down to Newcastle again trying to bargain basement everybody. It doesn't work like that in football. Charlie and Ashley try and get things for free all the time and try and get away with as little as they possibly can when it comes to spending money. The amount of players that they've got off the wage bill during the transfer window would surely accumulate to getting somebody decent in on loan and cover the wages that way. But no, a lot of the money, especially, the percentage we got from the Adam Armstrong transfer, etc., that'll have gone to instalments to be paid for Willock. It's a bloody farce, man. It really is. I'm sick of this football club right now. I really am. It just boils my piss every single day. Something happens at Newcastle United every day that winds me up and winds a lot of the supporters up. But it comes to the crunch now where we have got to get together instead of all the bitching with a plan of action for all the supporters that all of us can get behind and all of us can carry out. Now, I'm not saying, pitch invade, delay games or anything like that. I think that just boils down to, other fans doing that, and yes, they've got away with it to a degree. You know, we're talking about Man United invading the pitch and getting the Liverpool game called off. I don't think that would work for Newcastle United, simply because I think we'd get a much sterner punishment because of who we are and how the Premier League would deal with us. And that's blatantly obvious. So that goes straight out the window. You know, so what do we do? I mean, I'm scratching my head here thinking, I haven't got a clue. You know, we can protest outside the ground. We can make our feelings known. You know, some people say, oh, stay away, you know, empty the ground. A lot of people don't want to do that, and that's fine. I don't want to do that either, because it's not only a match day for me going to the match, it's meeting me mates, it's the enjoyment of it all. You know, getting away from the stresses of life and going to football. You know, that's what it's like for me. So I don't particularly want to stay away. But those who do, I don't have a problem with either. You know, if they feel that that's the way forward, then fine. You do that. And you've got my backing with that. But I don't like being called out for going to the matches. You know, when people are tweeting me saying, oh, well, you're part of the problem because you're handing money to Mike Ashley. Look, the match day entrance money and the season ticket money is a drop in the ocean for the money that Mike Ashley gets. This guy's a billionaire. He is a billionaire who the gate receipts mean absolutely shite all, whether the ground was empty or whether it was full. He is still getting his brand pushed out left, right and centre to all parts of the globe. So he doesn't give a toss. Now, it's quite frankly, you know, it comes to a crunch really, doesn't it? I mean, a lot of people have said if we get relegated, you know, he's not going to get the money that he wanted for the club, that's blatantly obvious. You know, he's not going to get 350 million quid or whatever it is for a championship side. That's just not going to happen. But when you look at it in more general, I don't care if it's the Saudis that take over this club, right? I don't have a preference as to who takes it over. What I want to see is somebody come in with a bit of ambition and wants to take the club forward, wants to improve the training ground, wants to improve the stadium, and most of all, wants to improve that starting 11 and wants to move up the Premier League table. That's the kind of owner I want. Now, I've said many times on shows that I don't mind a steady progression. You know, I don't expect somebody to come in and spend billions of pounds in like half a season and expect us to, you know, change the way we play and position-wise and things like that within a couple of months. Somebody come into this club who is going to give us drive, direction, positivity, ambition, and that can show that on a yearly basis to improve on a season-by-season basis until they get where they want to be. Mike Ashley isn't like that. We know he's not like that. That fat bastard is just wanting this club to finish 17th, get his money and fuck off. That's all he wants to do. You know, and it boils down to the crunch now. Is he actively looking for another buyer? Because I don't think he is. I think he had his heart set on the Saudis, and whether this court case or anything actually does happen, who knows? I don't give a toss about it at the moment, quite frankly, because it's been talked about so much that it's really run its course. If it happens, it happens. But it ain't going to happen in a blink of an eye. That's a certainty. And by the time anything like that happened, we could be well and truly bottom of the Premier League. I genuinely believe that. We are in a lot of crap this season, and a lot of crap that I don't think we can get out of, because we don't have the squad depth anymore. You know, Wilson's injured again now. We don't know for how long for. We don't have a backup for him. Dwight Gale is not the answer, and certainly Joe Linton isn't the answer. He's got Mickey playing in midfield, sick as a parrot. He's got ASM, who really is made of glass. You know, so we don't know how long he can stay fit for. But there's no backup for them either. We've got Ryan Fraser, who's chomping at the bit to get in now that he's fit. And we might see a better Ryan Fraser than we did last season. I, for one, slagged the kid off. But what I saw on Wednesday night against Burnley was a guy who was determined to force his way into the first team. But because this cabbage has his favourites and his favourite formation, and he will not budge at all on it, we are starting to get seeing players frustrated on the pitch. We've sent Vilker out on loan yesterday. Matty Longstaff's gone to Aberdeen. No replacements come in. You know, Vilker came in as this next Nobby Solano, and he's never even featured near the first team. And we've shipped him off to Doncaster. You know, Kel Watts looked really good in pre-season. Really, really good. We ship him off to Wigan on loan. Florent Lejeune, he's gone now as well. These are players who could probably play in the formation that Steve Bruce wants to. but we let them go. And now we're so slow at the back, we've got nobody with pace, nobody that can keep up with the... You know, you look at the likes of Leeds United who come to Newcastle in a couple of weeks' time. My God, you know, the pace that Man United have got next week. We do not do well against pace. We sit too far back, we're not pushed out far enough, and we get caught time and time again. It's a shambles, an absolute shambles. And this shambles is not going to get any better. Let me tell you that now. This will not get any better. Because as long as Mike Ashley's running the club, we've got Penfold as a director, and we've got Steve Bruce. This club is bone dry of any ambition. We're already out of one of the cups. And we are going to struggle to get off the bottom of the Premier League. That is under no doubt. Because we are a couple of injuries away from a complete catastrophe. And how the hell does this club not see that? If Mike Ashley was really bothered about making money for this club by selling it, he needs this club in the Premier League. And we're not going to be in the Premier League at the end of this season. With this squad we have got, not a chance. Not a chance. Unless by some God miracle, Steve Bruce decides to change formation and actually play the players in the proper positions that we have a chance, a slight chance of doing better with. But when you see Norwich City, you see Brentford, you see Palace spending millions of pounds bringing players in to give themselves an opportunity. They're not turning around saying we're going to avoid relegation by spending this money. What they are doing is giving themselves an opportunity to stay in the division. But once again, Mike Ashley slaps the Newcastle fans right across the face and just tells us to fuck off. That's all it is. The club is dying if it's not already dead. Because if we go down this season, we ain't coming back for a while. And I think every Newcastle United fan knows that. It's embarrassing. It's an embarrassment watching all these teams sign players yesterday and nothing at Newcastle United. And I really hope to hell that in Steve Bruce's next press conference he doesn't come out with all that shite about irons in the fire or we couldn't get them over the line, because that will just piss us off even more. Absolutely piss us off even more. This club means the absolute world to me. It means the world to thousands of Newcastle United fans. We live and breathe Newcastle United. But we are continually being slapped in the face season after season. And something has to come to a head. We have to get together as football fans to get this guy out of the club once and for all. I don't know how we're going to do it. I really don't. But that's where you get your heads together and you think of something that you think will work or you think will have an impact. Because, you know, yes, Holly did fantastic with the protest in London. Fantastic job. You know, it was brilliant what she did. A lot of hard work went into that, and hats off to her for that. But I'm saying we need thousands upon thousands more fans to do something, to come together. Instead of all the bitching on social media, we've got to come together and be as one. Because if we don't, this club is going absolutely down the divisions. We have no doubt about that. Something has to give. Because I am sick of being slapped in the face by this fat cockney twat who just does not care about my football club. Steve Bruce claims to be a Newcastle United fan. No, I'm sorry, Steve. If you were a Newcastle United fan, you would have walked this morning after being totally ignored by Ashley and Charnley, wanting players in. You've not got what you wanted. That happened at Hull and you walked, but you will not walk from Newcastle United because if you're waiting for the golden handshake when you get sacked. So you won't resign, you won't walk. So we as a football club are stuck with owners who don't want us and a manager who is completely inept to manage this football club. It's an embarrassment. And transfer deadline day yesterday just really tipped me over the edge. Tipped me over the edge and tipped a lot of Newcastle fans over the edge. So much disappointment. I have never known the club be so low than it is at the moment. And that goes through the times in the 80s when we were struggling with debt, we were struggling with money, we were going out of business, all that kind of stuff. This is as rock bottom as it gets for Newcastle United right now. The squad is minimal, to say the least. We've got no decent backup for any players. We've got players in the first team who don't know whether they're coming or going on the pitch. It's just a complete fucking farce. So, deadline day for me yesterday was a pile of shit, as usual. We send players out on loan, we don't replace them, and we're left with pretty much no hope. Absolutely no hope. And like I say, I don't know what we can do now, but we have to come together. Something's got to give, man. I'm fucking furious. Obviously, I'm deflated, but I'm angry as well. That somebody is destroying my football club that I've loved since I was like a kid. And people say, oh, it's just football. But people live and breathe Newcastle United. It's the getaway from the normal life. Yes, there's more important things in life than football. Undoubtedly there is. Of course there is. But it doesn't mean that we can't care about the club we love. And that we don't want to see it just dissolve into a mid-table championship team, or even worse, lower down than that. So we've got to do something. Anyway, that's my thoughts on transfer window day, guys. Deadline day. I mean, I'm just fucked off. You can probably tell. I just want a bit of positivity in this club for once. I'm sick of doing videos where there's no positivity. I'd love to be positive and say, right, yes, that was brilliant, or this was brilliant. We've done well there. But there just isn't light at the end of the tunnel at the moment, and I think a lot of Newcastle fans agree with that. But one thing Mike Ashley will not do, he will not stop me going to support my football club. He will not stop my love for Newcastle United. Because beneath Mike Ashley, when he's long gone, Newcastle United will still be there. In our hearts and in our souls. So we just have to keep battling and fighting for this football club that we love so much. But if you have enjoyed the video, guys, please don't forget to smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, you like what you see, lots of live streams and videos like this. So please do consider subscribing if you're new or you haven't already done so yet. Much more to come. Thursday night live show will be obviously the Fantasy Football League. We'll have a look where people are. I don't particularly want to look where I am because I'm near the bottom as per usual, but it should be a decent show. I'll do more videos as the news comes out from Newcastle United. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy your weekend. Take care. Be strong. Be strong.